This program contains content that may not be suitable for a younger audience and which should not be attempted or imitated.
You're feeding your addiction. With Rich Embury.
Out of the question. Sunday weekend, up all night, in at the deep end, hang on tight. It won't take a minute, it won't take long, so get on in it. Come on, come on, come on. Let's get right. Let's get right. Let's go
Well, do ya? Do you want to get rocked? Are you ready for another hour of classic rock and classic metal of the 70s, 80s, and 90s? We started off with a track from the 90s from their album Adrenalize, which came out in 1992. The single Let's Get Rocked from Def Leppard, which was the first single off of the album and peaked at number 1 on the US Billboard Album Rock Tracks chart, number 15 on the Billboard 100, and top 5 on the UK Singles chart, number 1 up here in the Canadian RPM 100 Hit Tracks chart, and of course it was the first album to not feature the late great Steve Clark. Actually had Vivian Campbell, I think, in the band time. The album itself didn't do as well as their previous 2 albums, which shipped over diamond status, which was in the United States is over 10 million copies. So that's a lot of albums, but a good album nonetheless and a great track. We're going to do a double shot of Kiss to kick off the next trio. As you all know, I am a Kiss Army, Kiss geek, as they say. And 2 of their albums were released in March, 2 pretty big ones. Their 3rd studio album, Dressed to Kill, came out today in history, March 19th, 1975. But their iconic 4th studio album, Destroyer, also came out in March 15th, 1976. 1 year later, of course, being their biggest album of all time. But we're going to start off with God of Thunder, followed by 2-timer off Dressed to Kill. And we've also got to celebrate Jerry Cantrell's birthday yesterday, March 18th, 1966. Jerry Cantrell, of course, from Alice in Chains. But we're going to play something off of one of his first solo album, actually, from 1998, Boggy Depot. He just released his 5th studio album last year in October, I Want Blood. But we're going to hear Cut You In to close out this trio. But still to come, we got some music from David Lee Roth, Ozzy Osbourne, Accept, Twisted Sister, White Zombie, and more. But here's your double shot of History.
The albums that set off a rock and roll explosion. First there was Kiss, then Hotter Than Hell, then Dressed to Kill. The fire, the frenzy, the fantastic rise of the Kiss Army. The 3 albums that caused a rock revolution are now specially priced in a historic 3-record set with an exclusive Kiss history book and more. Kiss, the originals. Get yours today. And don't miss the sensational all-new Kiss show. The smoke, the flames, the exploding sound and fury of Kiss. Saturday, July 10th at Roosevelt Stadium.
You're feeding your addiction with Rich Embury.
Choke on the bones, you wonder why. cut you in. Come on, let's go for a ball. I cut you in. You ain't leaving at all. I cut you in. Let it go in your head. I cut you in. Part-time friend, I cut you in. Come on, let's go for a ball. I cut you in. You ain't leaving at all. I cut you in. Let it go in your head. I cut you in. Part-time friend, I cut you in. I cut you in. I cut you in. Let it go in your head. I cut you in. Part-time friend.
Happy belated birthday once again to Jerry Cantrell, born in Tacoma, Washington, March 18th, 1966. And of course, before that, a double shot of Kiss history. We heard Kiss's two-timer from Dressed to Kill, the third studio album, came out today in history, March 19th, 1975. And of course, starting off that trio from the iconic, the massive selling Destroyer 4th studio album from Kiss, released March 15th, 1976. Can't go wrong with a little classic Kiss. Gonna play something a little different to start off the next trio. Usually I play something from their most famous band, I guess, if someone's celebrating a birthday. And Billy Sheehan, you'd probably go, oh yeah, Mr. Big would be the first thing that pops into your head, right? And then, of course, he's played with Steve Vai, the Winery Dogs, and David Lee Roth. So we're going to play something off of the couple albums that he did play on with David Lee Roth. He played on Eat 'Em and Smile, and of course the Spanish language version of Eat 'Em and Smile, I'm not even going to try to pronounce, and Skyscraper as well. But we're going to hear something off of Eat 'Em and Smile, and we'll follow it up with some Ozzy Osbourne to celebrate the late Randy Rhoads, who unfortunately passed on this day in history, March 19th, 1982, at the age of 25. This also marks the anniversary of the Ozzy Osbourne tribute album, which came out on the day of the anniversary of Randy's death on March 19th, 1987. So today in history, that album was dropped on us. So we're going to hear the live version from Tribute, the Randy Rhoads tribute of Crazy Train. And we'll close out this trio with some Accept from their third studio album. The German metal band dropped Breaker on March 16th, 1981. We'll hear Midnight Highway off of that. But still to come, some Twisted Sister, 10 years after, White Zombie, and more. But first, some Yankee Rose. Meow.
What? Well, let me roll up onto the sidewalk and take a look. Yes. Whoa! She's beautiful. I'm talking about a Yankee Rose. And she looks wild. Wow.
didn't know better, I'd almost think he was abusing electricity.
Crazy train! I thought you were gonna go wild tonight! Everybody stick your hands in the air!
You're feeding your addiction. With Rich Embury.
For you, Midnight Highway off their third studio album, Breaker, which came out March 16th, 1981. And of course, that album was a lot more commercially successful or accepted than the previous album, I'm a Rebel, which garnered quite a bit of criticism for the type of songs it had on it. But I'm a fan of those early albums either way, all the way back to the very, very beginning, which I kind of like how all the albums were a little bit different, but they tended to start to sound the same as we got into the late 80s and so forth and onward. But nonetheless, still some good stuff. Before that, Ozzy Osbourne, of course, Crazy Train, the live version from Randy Rhoads' Tribute album, Tribute, released March 19th, 1987. In memoriam of the late, great Randy Rhoads, who passed March 19th on the same day, this day in history, 1982, at the age of 25, in a plane crash. Very young and had a massive history ahead of him, but unfortunately, we only got a little taste with the quiet ride in the Ozzy years. Starting off with some David Lee Roth there, of course, because Billy Sheehan, the bassist, celebrating his birthday today, March 19th, 1953 as well. And Billy just released the 10th Mr. Big album with the band last year, the album 10 for Mr. Big. So still dropping a ton of music and guest playing on a ton of other great artists and albums as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, we are here playing the best classic rock and classic metal of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. 3 decades. We go way back. I might even expand that maybe to the early 2000s eventually here, but for now, it's 70s, 80s, and 90s. And we're going to keep that going with another birthday to celebrate. A belated birthday to Daniel Snyder, or a.k.a. D. Snyder. Born March 15th, 1955. From the Twisted Sister fame, of course. I'm going to play the title track off of my favorite Twisted Sister album, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, from 1983. Followed by a classic from the 70s from the A Space and Time album from 10 years after, I'd Love to Change the World. And the way the world is going right now, damn straight I'd love to change it a little bit, get it back to some sort of normalcy because of one dude, I just gotta say, but I digress. And we'll close out this trio with some White Zombie to celebrate their 3rd studio album, L'Exorcisto, Devil Music Volume 1, which came out March 17th, 1992. But first, some Twisted Sister for you.
Greetings, my excellent friends.
Everywhere is freaks and harris, dykes and fairies. Tell me where is sanity? Tax the rich, feed the poor. Tell there are no rich no more. I love to change the world, but I don't know what to do. So I leave it up to you. Population keeps on breeding, nation bleeding, still more bleeding economy. Life is funny, skies are sunny, bees make honey. Who needs money? Monopoly.
You're feeding your addiction. With Rich Embury.
After the ecstasy and overtime, we're
Wanna try me?
Thunderkiss 65. A little white zombie for you right here on Rich Embury's Power Hour on your favorite station from Le Sexorcisto, Devil Music Volume 1, which also did very well for the band, went double platinum in the United States, gold up here in Canada, and charted in many places around the world, and launched the band. Before that, their albums were kind of so-so. Didn't really care for them, but the change in the style of music that they did for this album definitely did very well for them. And of course, Rob Zombie himself, who continued basically the same sort of sound on with his solo stuff. And the album again released March 17th, 1992, and it was the third studio album from the band. And before that, we heard 10 years after in their classic song, I'd Love to Change the World from A Space and Time from 1971. And Twisted Sister, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll from the album of the same name to celebrate the belated birthday of Dee Snider, March 15th, 1955. So we're down to the last part of the show, but I will remind you to stick around. Lots of great DJs and music coming here on your favorite station, so do not go anywhere. And thanks to our sponsor, FCK.FM Magazine, the free monthly magazine, heavy metal and rock lifestyles magazine, FCK.FM, girls, new releases, interviews, and more, free at FCK.FM/magazine. Go and get it, and thanks to them for sponsoring the show. Gonna leave you with three quick tracks. Ace Frehley and Frehley's Comet, their sort of Alice Cooper version of a song, Dolls, followed by Regina's Queen City Kids and their song Dance from their 1982 album Black Box, and we'll close out with Randy Rhoads himself from Tribute, a little outtake called D from the Tribute album. We'll see you all next time. Stay sexy, keep those horns up high, and always, always, always crank it loud.
When I wake, they're always there, waiting just to freely please me. While I wash, they're occupied, cleaning things so sweetly, neatly. When I play, they play with me, willing to do anything. I live like the sun begins to rise, they prepare my morning bounty. As I eat, they wait on me, making sure I'm satisfied. I love my dolls, you must believe me, it's plain to see, they really love me. I love my dolls, they'll never leave me happily. When friends come over, they're astonished by the sight. So many dolls in just one place gives them a fright. Don't understand why they feel so uncomfortable around my dolls. I love my dolls, you must believe me, it's plain to see, they really love me. I love my dolls, they'll never leave me happily. I love my dolls, you must believe me, it's plain to see, they really love me. I love my dolls, they'll never leave me happily. I love my dolls, you must believe me, it's plain to see, they really love me. I love my dolls,
Well, I guess the show's over.
I don't think so, sir.
come on, baby, dance. She's got the move, she shakes her face.
You're feeding your addiction with Rich Embury.
Okay. Yeah. Beeps. There's a jet. Okay. Once more. Fretted that chord wrong. It's not bad. It's getting smoother now. Well, can I just do two and then hear the both of them? Let's hear that.